Hi guys, it's Crystal City Girl Homestead. So this is the last of this series for saving money and how to save money. So the last ones I think are really important, and it won't be that long of a video because it's just about done. 20 ways to save money on your way to handle your finances. And the first one I'm bad at, but I know kind of what my budget is, so I just pay the bills when I know that, I get paid in the middle of the month. Tom gets paid at the first of the month. I know which bills go where. How's that? Set a budget. I do think that's important. We need to know where our money's going. Now, do I keep track of every little thing that I buy? Absolutely not, and I probably should. And if I seen that, I probably might spend money just a little bit different way. 2, stop paying interest on your credit cards. Work on getting out of debt right away. And I agree 110% on that. We do have credit cards, but they aren't high limited ones. And I only use them to pay bills, and then I'll pay it right off when Tom gets paid because we have nothing building our credit. So we go through the credit cards and then, go to a different one to pay bills the following month. Now, if we use it for other things, yes, but I want to stay debt-free on my credit cards because the interest rates now are just absolutely nuts. And yeah, I know. Number 3, transfer your balances to zero interest credit cards while you work on getting out of debt. If you get that opportunity, take that opportunity, but don't abuse it. Transfer it to the 0% and then work like crazy to pay that off so that you can do it inexpensive and free, so you can get out of the other high interest rates. Set up automatic payments to transfer to get discounts on your interest rates for your car loans, mortgages, even if it means switching banks. We don't have a mortgage, but I've never done a whole lot of, automatic payments, but I know I go through T-Mobile, and I get a $10 credit if I do automatic payments. Now, I normally go in and pay it early, but I still get the credit. So there are things that will give you credit if you do automated. And so if you can save, I know, even $10 or $20 a month, whatever it happens to be, that's something else you can put towards, getting debt-free. Shop for your car loan through local credit unions or banks to see if you can save on interest. When we first got my car, 2019, I got it at 3.9%, I think it was, but I wouldn't get that today. But anyway, they had at my credit union, if you paid faithfully on time for one whole year, and if your credit rating went up even just a couple of points, they would take 1% away from you. So I ended up finishing out my loan at 2.9%. So maybe it's not always the lowest at the beginning, but there might be ways that you can do, where it comes down or whatever. And it's helping to build your credit at the same time. Find a free checking account that does not charge for transfers, ATM use, or debit charges. I don't go through regular banks anymore because I found that most of them charge all of that. I go through a credit union, and we don't get charged for any of that. So, and those fees can really add up. Now, if we go to take money out of a place that's not associated with our bank, then of course you get charged. But, like I had a Rakuten check today for $5.95. And I actually deposited in this credit union over here. It didn't hold my money because it's a sister credit union to my bank. So check those out. Make sure that you're not being charged tons of money. Your money is so hard to make, even if you get Social Security or SSI, SSD, whatever it is, money is hard to come by. And there's no point in feeding someone else's pockets when you don't need to. Don't have a credit card that has a fee. Cancel old credit cards that are paid off that charge a fee, and only open new accounts if they don't charge a late fee. Now, I agree with that. But like Jack is trying to establish his credit, he does have a credit card that has a fee right now. But in a year or two, hopefully he'll have built his credit up enough that he won't have to have that and he can cancel it out. But keep in mind, when you cancel out a credit card, they don't know if you've done it, they've done it, the bank's done it, whatever, and so it will take a hit on your credit report. I found that out. Do not pay any late fees on your accounts. Be sure to pay your bills on time. Set up a reminder in your calendar to make sure that they're paid on time. 100%. 100%. And I know that there's months that you're like, I'm not sure how I'm going to make that or whatever. But a lot of those companies charge 3%, 1.5%, some as high as, 5% if you're late. And sometimes on rent and mortgages, it's even higher. So if you can, if there's only certain bills that you can pay, try to pay those ones that will charge you late fees so that you don't, go into debt even more, and owe even more money. Balance your checkbook. This will prevent you from overdrawing your account and save you on money on overdraft charges and return check fees. I agree. I know somebody that was close to me that, man, I didn't even like to take a check for them because I knew the money probably wasn't in there. But they do charge $25, $35, and sometimes even more. And it's not like I've never bounced a check. It's been, God, my kids were like 5 and 6 the last time I bounced a check or something, and they're in their 30s now. So, yeah, I used to think, oh, my check will be there in time. Well, sometimes that doesn't happen. Don't take those chances because you're going to pay even more money. Find a budgeting system that works well for you. This may be using cash for some categories or finding an app to you can update on the go. It may take some research, but this will make saving money even easier because you will know when to stop spending. Now I have a checkbook. Well, I don't have a check. I have a checking account. I don't have a checkbook. But I separate them into different accounts. Like I have one that I don't know what I call it, but I put money in there all the time for, our taxes, insurances, things like that. That's what that one's in for. Then I have an account that I use that I put like my my YouTube money in, which is like about $150 a month, and I put that in there, and any other kind of money that I can save, I put that in that account, and that's what I do. That account goes to save for things that we need around the house or big purchases, or if we want to take vacation. You can have different envelopes that, once your bills are taken care of, you can put money in envelopes that separate, vacation, this fund, that fund. Actually pick out something that you're saving for so that you can put that money in there and it goes towards that. Take advantage of your employer match for retirement savings. This is essentially free money you can put towards your retirement. Right now, because of the circumstances me and Tom are in, he can't do that. So, but if you can, that's a great idea. Use cash only. This helps put a stick into your budget and to stop spending and when you run out. I agree with that. I don't carry a lot of cash. But if I know I'm going somewhere, like when I go up to see Renee and I know we're going to go to the Amish stores because some of them don't take credit cards, I make sure I always take cash with me. And then that way I'm not going over that. I know I have a budget and that's it. And that's hard sometimes to do. Fix your credit score by getting current on your payments, cleaning up your debt. And this can save you money by lowering interest on major loans like your mortgage. That is true. That's something we're working on with Jack, and it takes a lot to bring your credit score up. And just, you know what, even if it's one little thing every month, paying a little bit extra on a credit card or whatever it is, you can do this. I know you can. And I know with tough times being as tough as they are, it's getting even harder. But in the long run, you'll save more money if we get our credit score better. Save up for a down payment so you don't need to pay PMI, which my son, they had to pay PMI on their house. I was like, holy crap, that's a big payment. So if you can save up more money, and they had saved quite a bit, if you can avoid paying that PMI, that's a really good thing. Or if you can find the one that drops it after so long, that's even better. Adjust your withholding so they don't withhold too much, making extra money available to you throughout the year. I agree and then disagree with that. I keep forgetting to tell Tom to have more taken out. Because I am a 1099 employee through my other job and through YouTube, I never know how much I'm going to have to pay in. So the extra that he could pay in might make up the difference. But I keep forgetting to have him do that. Set up an emergency fund so you don't have to use your credit card when unexpected expenses pop up. I've been watching this one girl, and even if she's got an extra $2 or whatever, she puts it into her emergency fund. You know, you can build it up $1 at a time until they say everybody should have $1,000, which, you know, for a lot of us, $1,000 is hard to come by. So, you know, but if you do it $1 at a time, 50 cents at a time, 25 cents at a time, depending on our budget, you can build that up faster than you know. Use an online savings account to qualify for higher interest rates. I don't trust that, but if you want to, you can get higher interest rates. But being in the credit card industry and whatever, I've heard a lot of horror stories about banking, and there are some really good ones. So if you're going to do that, make sure that you look and see through the Better Business Bureau and stuff. Make sure that they're legit, and so you don't lose your money. Protect your savings so that it continues to grow instead of spending it each month. Now, through our credit union, they have your regular checking account, regular savings account. Then they have this new one. If you can keep the balance above $2,000, they actually pay you higher than 0.5%. So look with your credit unions and banks and see if you can do that you could actually make higher interest. And for people that are my age or older, we know that they used to pay good interest on your stuff, but they don't do that anymore. Stop using your credit cards completely, especially if you don't intend to pay them off each month. That I agree 100%. If you think you can't cover that by the end of the month, don't use it. Unless an absolute emergency, then you're going to have to do something. If you do pay your balances off each month, use a Cashback rewards card to earn a little bit extra each month. That is a really good idea too. So I hope that all 100 of these actually has helped something. Maybe you picked up one thing. If you have other ideas, you know, make sure you put them below. The bottom line is that, you know, no matter how much we save, no matter how hard we try, we're in rough times, you know, and do I think it'll get better? Yes, I do. I'm not going to be that person that says, oh, it's going to be like this forever. No, I don't think so. I think, you know, it's going to take more than one president to, you know, bring it back to what it should be. And maybe it never will. Maybe this will be our new normal. I don't know. But, like, you know, I'm the big girl. It didn't happen overnight. We can't fix everything overnight. And people that, you know, I'm like, Tom's cousin's one of them. She's like, he said he'd do this, this, and this on the first day. You know what? It doesn't matter if you're in this country, that country, wherever. Nothing can be fixed in one day. Nothing. They can promise you the moon, but as long as they keep trying, that's the point. And as long as we keep trying and we keep coming up with ideas and we don't depend on the government to tell us how to do this or how to do that, we can do it ourselves. If you guys haven't noticed before, I'm not the biggest government fan. I'm just not. I believe that we need a government. I believe that, you know, some of them are good intentions, but I believe that there's a lot that don't. And that's from all over the world. So, you know, we need to know how to take care of ourselves and how to provide for ourselves and to manage on our own. Because if we think Big Daddy government's going to come bail us out, we're wrong. It's not going to happen. So we have to depend on ourselves and our lifelines, which is our friends, our family, our neighbors, our YouTube people that we talk to all the time, whatever it happens to be. We need to learn to depend on each other and to help one another. Because Big Daddy government, not here in the U.S. or anywhere else, they're not going to come running and go, ta-da, it's fixed. That's not happening. So we need to learn to, become communities again and depend on one another and, help each other. I'm not saying like you got to pay somebody's bills or something, but, maybe there's something that you know how to do that you could help someone so that they don't have to pay a big bill. Or maybe vice versa, We need to learn to depend on one another and be actual neighbors and friends and family. So hopefully you guys learned something in this series. Hope I didn't bore you too bad or anything like that, but we got this, you guys. We got it. If you believe in God, He's got our back. Friends, family, our YouTube family, we've got our backs. Don't freak out. Take a breath. Even when things are so cruddy that you can't think that past, I can't do this, I can't do this. Listen, we can do a lot more than we think we can, and we're a lot stronger than we think we are. I love you guys, and thanks for following me along on everything that I do. You guys have a blessed day. Be a blessing, and I'll see you at supper.